Okay, we've got one more person in the room. Who's our iPad person? I can see an elbow.
Yeah. Who that?
Who's that coming in? Is it Jamie?
Oh, hang on.
Or maybe not?
Is it Howes, is it, do you think?
Yes, I think it's House. Looks like House.
Is it Hells?
Looks like it.
Just see if something comes up in the chat. Otherwise, we will take them off of here.
I wonder if any of the big kids have come to spy and do a lesson with Auntie Billy. That's what I wonder.
I wonder too.
Cheeky.
Is that Hells? Can Hells hear us? One second.
She's got her iPad up the wrong way, so it's telling you that. Because it's facing the camera, will be at one side. Oh dear.
Oh, iPad's coming off.
Oh,
no.
yeah. What's going on here?
We'll just give it 2 minutes whilst this person comes on. I think it's Jamie and Hells, but we'll just make sure. Harley, have you thought what your favourite film or TV show is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Formula One Drive to Survive.
Drive to the Safari. Formula One.
Drive to Survive.
Drive to Survive. Ah, is it because there's lots of fast cars in it?
Yeah.
Nice. Would you like a fast car when you're older?
Yeah.
Just have to make sure you got your seatbelts on to be sure. That's fine. We can't get Jamie's camera on, but that's absolutely fine. That's all right. Let's get started. So, have we all got our pens? Can you raise your hands if you got your pens? Good stuff. Oh, we can see Jamie now with some nice headphones. Hi, Jamie. I like the cat on your earphones. They look great. And we're going to look at today getting a bit creative. So hopefully you've got your pens and your paper, and that's going to help you a little bit later on. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to get you guys to do is to get your ears ready. Okay. What I'd like you to do, this is me over here, is making sure our ears are ready to listen out for the sounds. Who thinks that they're a really good listener?
In one ear.
In one ear. Yep. Very good listener in one ear. Oh, we've got another little one coming on board. I think this is Cinder's little one. Hi, lovely. Oh, hi, lovely. What's your name? Oh, can't hear. Sorry, Cinder's.
What's your name?
Charlotte.
Hello, Charlotte. Welcome to the party. So we've got today Harley. Harley, give us a wave. We've got Ella. So we've got the lovely Charlotte. Charlotte, you're going to wave to us? Giving us a nice wave. Thank you. And then we've got Jamie. Jamie, give us a wave. There you go. So my name's Miss L, and we're going to do a lesson today all to do with what we can hear. Okay. And we're going to bring that into the media and film world. So we're going to think about the sounds that we might hear, which might be an aeroplane going past. It might be someone's heart beating really fast. It might be an explosion. Or it could just be someone maybe making a bit of a naughty noise, which happens when we eat too many beans. Okay, so we're going to think about all of those noises and think about how we're going to recreate them ourselves. And by the end of this lesson, hopefully you've got an idea to go and be a bit of a detective with your sounds and be able to find some things for me. So I'm going to play you a really short clip now, and it's going to show you 3 different scenes where it's raining, okay? And as it's raining, I want you to think about which one of them is actually, if you listen to it, bacon cooking in a saucepan. Does anyone like the taste of bacon? Ella does over there. And Harley. So one of these, instead of rain, it's actually bacon cooking in a frying pan. So you've got to work out which one it is. Okay, let me just get this ready over here. We've got our ears ready to listen, and you need to work it out. So you need to decide, is it number 1, 2, or 3 is the bacon cooking? Right, let me just get this ready for you. Here we go.
I want you to think carefully which one the clip with the bacon is.
Number 1. Number 2. Number 3.
All right.
Okay, I could see Ella writing it down, but don't worry if you've not managed to write it down. By show of hands, who thought it was number 1? Charlotte thought it was number 1. Good guess there. Who thought it was number 2? Harley and Ella and Seren think it's number 2. Jamie, do you think it was number 3? And Jamie thinks it's number 3. Well, the good news is that you're... Oh, all right. Oh, I've gone back one. All right. Because actually, all 3 of them was bacon cooking. None of them was actual rain. Should we have a listen again? Okay, let's have a listen again.
Yeah. No.
No, isn't it before so
What?
a different bit of the bacon.
Listen.
Have a listen. Bacon. Louder bacon. Sizzling bacon.
All right.
Okay, so what that's called is something that we call Foley, and I'll explain Foley to you in a second. But it means that when we watch something on the film and TV, it's not always what we can hear. And that's because cameras don't always pick up the right sound. What you're doing now is you're watching me on camera, and I bet my voice sounds amazing. But if you were here in the room with me, it wouldn't sound so good. And I bet some of you might sing really loud in the shower, and that sounds great. But then when you start to listen back to it, it doesn't always sound as good as you thought it did. And that's because when we create things in film and media, we need some special tools to make it really good. So, celery. We just said bacon makes the sound of rain. What might celery make the sound of? Any thoughts? Does anyone like celery? No? The green stuff. Seren does. Does your mum like it, Ella?
My rabbit.
Your rabbit likes celery. Yes, it's definitely something very green that we don't always eat, but it's very healthy for us. If we were to snap celery, any ideas what kind of sound effects we might make? Any thoughts? What do you think? Harley, what do you think?
Mm.
You're like brick.
Any thoughts?
You can say.
Not sure?
Not really.
That's okay. It's a bit of a hard one because we've not tried it before. Ella, what do you think?
A ruler snapping in half.
A ruler snapping in half. It could be a ruler snapping. Have you done that noise before?
Yes,
When-
I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it. Not your own ruler, because otherwise Mum would have to buy you a new one. Any other thoughts? Charlotte, any thoughts what it might be?
Crunchy.
It's very crunchy sounding, isn't it? Absolutely. So crunching is a good sound for it. And you and Ella's point kind of work well together because it's actually what we use for breaking bones.
Oh. Ooh.
Crunching noises there. Because what we don't want to do in actual films is actually break any bones, do we? Has anyone ever had one of their bones broken, their arm broken? Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, legs broken. We don't want to do that in actual film. So this way, it's safer. We can just buy some celery for 50p. And that way, we can snap it in half and it makes the sound of bones breaking. So if you ever watch any cartoons or films in the future, you can think, that's celery that's doing that. Let's try another one. What do you reckon the sound of a plastic bag makes? And it doesn't have to be a Tesco's bag. It could be any kind of bag. Sainsbury's will do as well. Jamie, any thoughts what a plastic bag noise might make? Not sure? Any thoughts? Go for it, Charlotte.
Some little cracking sounds.
Some crackling sounds. Yeah, I like that. What sort of sounds make a crackling sound? Any thoughts? Was that a hand, Harley?
Yeah, rustling sort of noise.
A rustling sort of noise. Yeah. Ella, did you have anything else? Oh, I can't hear you, sweetie. I think you might be on mute. Hang on 1 second. No? One second. Let's try again. Try again, Ella. Oh, no, we can't hear you. Oh, bless you. We can hear. Can everyone else hear Ella, or is it just me that can't? No, no one can hear. We can't hear at the moment, Ella. Is Mum around? The sound's not coming through, Mum. I'm sorry.
Is that better?
That we can hear you now.
Ow.
What was your answer, Ella?
Leaves also rustle.
Leaves also rustle, absolutely. So if you did some really slow noises with this, it could sound like leaves rustling. But what a lot of the time we use plastic bags for is the sound of a fireplace crackling and starting to burn. Okay, don't put that plastic bag on an actual fireplace. That's not safe. But we are using those plastic bags at home because then it's much safer, isn't it, to make those noises without actually getting burnt. So that's something that we do using plastic bags. Any thoughts on rice? What kind of noises might rice make? If you put your hands in rice, what noise? What are you thinking, Ella?
What kind?
So
Cooked.
I'm going to say, what do you think for cooked starting?
Cooked rice, like you eat rice.
Do you eat rice, Charlotte?
Yeah.
What do you think?
What's it sound like?
I think it sounds like some banging sounds, a slow like tapping sound.
Oh, when it's cooked, not uncooked. Cooked.
So you're thinking when it's uncooked, it sounds quite hard and tappy and dried? Yeah, because it's dried and hard. So when it's uncooked and it comes straight out of the bag, it can make like a sort of almost like a shh sound if we do shake it. And it also can have this hard noise that if you poured it out onto the floor, it'd be lots of tapping noises that we hear. So really good thinking there, Charlotte. And the other thought is if we cook it, it's got a very soft sound. Yes, Harley?
I was going to say soft.
Soft sound, isn't it? Yeah, very fluffy it feel, as long as it's been cooked well. So, Ella, I can see your thinking faces on. Did you have a thought there?
Since when I've had rice, my dad and me have sometimes curry.
Yeah.
And when I put it in the bowl, it kind of makes a plopping sound.
A plopping noise. Well, we might need some plopping sounds later on. Some like gurgles and plopping sounds, especially if we had a witch's brew. We'd want to hear all of those bubbles being made as it slops around in the bowl. So good thinking. So we've got soft sounds. We've got patter sounds when it's slightly harder. And actually, we use rice for sand. So when it's cooked, it's the soft sand that our feet go into Have you ever stood on sand where the sand goes in between your toes and it's a very soft sound? That's what we have when the rice is cooked. And when the rice isn't cooked and it's straight out of the bags, that's when we start to hear a slightly harder, crunchier sound, as if you've got the sand wet. And in some cases, people stand on it and it sounds like you're standing on snow because of the harder sound. It's got that tapping sound that Charlotte picked up on as well. So you all picked up on some really good things with that. The other one, which I'm not going to show you because I'm sure mums and dads might not like you doing this at home, but if you ever want to make an explosion noise, you know, when you've seen a big explosion, if you get a gigantic watermelon and accidentally drop that on the floor, it's very messy. But the sound of it is the same that we use in film for an explosion. Who thinks that they're not going to try that because then they're a bit worried about what mum and dad might say? Yeah, it'll be very messy, but it's a lot of fun. Sorry, mums. So, as I said, this is called Foley. Can you write this down for me? If I just draw it here. So, Foley. What I've drawn there. It's an F, an O, an L, an E, and a Y. And it's actually named after this man over here. If I can find my mouse, 1 second. And his name's Jack Foley. He used to work in Hollywood and he was a musician. And he worked out that all these films only got the right sound if they recreated them. So they remade them using household objects. Give me 1 second whilst I just try and get my mouse back. Drawings. So Jack over here, he said, I know, we'll film the sound, we'll film what's going on, such as a woman crossing the road, and then we'll record the sound after. That way, we can really hear what's going on, and it really makes the film sound a lot better. So you are going to recreate your own version of Foley a little bit later on, and you are going to record some sounds. Hopefully, mums at home have got an iPhone or a smartphone to use, and they'll give you permission to work with them on creating something in the future. And I'd love to see what you create, just some photos of it. Mums, don't panic, it's dead easy. I'll show you what you need to do. Okay, now the biggest sound that you need to know about in Foley is footsteps, because most films have people in them or characters, and footsteps make that film more realistic. It feels like you're part of that film much more. But I tell you what, shoes do change. How many of you are wearing trainers right now? Anyone wearing trainers? Charlotte's got trainers on. Who's got bare feet? Who's not wearing any? So Ella's not wearing any. Has anyone got slippers on? No one got slippers on. I've got my slippers on. And anyone just got plimsolls on or nice little pumps on?
I've got socks on.
You got socks on. There you go, keeping your feet warm. Now, every one of you will have different sounding feet. And I'll give you a challenge later on. I'd like you to record different people's feet. So your feet, mum's feet, and listen back and see if you can hear differences. Because when you're making film, you don't want to use the same footprints every time. Otherwise, it will look like you're running through the forest and you'll hear mum's stilettos clopping along. And it won't make sense when you are in a very leafy forest. Let's have a look. So, any ideas how we can record sound? How might you record sound? What do you need to record sound? What do you think? Hands up if you think you know. Oh, I can see lots of hands. Let's start off with Harley.
Microphone.
You might need a microphone. Absolutely. Microphone might look like this. Charlotte?
Recorder.
You might need a recorder, a sound recorder. Absolutely. Ella. A camera, did you say? For some reason, your sound's gone again, sweetie. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe mum's got a magic touch. Maybe a camera. Yeah, you can record sound that way. The problem with cameras and recording sound is it uses the same amount of memory, like our own brains, to work what it sees and what it hears. So sometimes we have to use a special tool like a microphone or an app like Voice Memo on our phones to get the best quality sound. And by the end of this, you guys are going to be sound producers, much better than any of my sixth form students. You're going to be top notch.
Can you hear us?
Better than mums as well, I reckon. So there's lots of reasons why we use separate things, because when we film, there's things that get in the way. Okay, when you listen to certain things that we filmed, you might hear background noises and things can get in the way. Any idea what might stop us hearing just your sound when we're filming? Any thoughts? Oh, Charlotte?
Like recorders.
Yeah,
Noise, what noise in the background?
what background noise might you hear?
My brother's noise, because my brother,
Yeah. Does he talk a lot?
yeah, he always tries to play on this game and he always has to shout when I'm trying to get my piece.
Brilliant. If we've got other people at home, like mums that like to chat or brothers, they can be quite noisy and get in the way of our recording. Harley,
Me fiddling with this pen.
fiddling with a pen. Do you like to click it?
Yeah.
Click it, click, 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 click. So when we are filming, we could hear that. I tell you what, all of you, just be silent for 10 seconds and see if you can hear any other noises in your room. Great, that's 10 seconds. Ella, what did you hear?
Fridge.
The fridge buzzing. Yeah, absolutely. Harley.
Next door.
Next door, are they loud?
Yeah.
Next door were loud. Could anyone hear anything like their heart beating, perhaps? No? Could you hear breathing?
Couldn't hear.
No? Oh, you've all got very healthy lungs and hearts then. That's good. Could you hear any music? No? That's good. But things like our fridges, our phones, plugs plugged in, lights, they all make electrical noises and they can get in the way of our filming.
Ooh.
You might hear wind outside. That poor doggy. You might hear, as Charlotte said, people chatting and being noisy. Yeah. You might hear the buzzing of a fridge or a computer. And you might hear people running taps or dripping taps. You possibly can hear right now, Raisin, my kitten, is drinking from a tap that's running. So you often hear that in the background. Charlotte, I saw your hand. Did you have your hand up? What were you going to say?
There's other sounds in my house, but Dylan, my brother, he doesn't even talk, but he's not a baby. He actually bounce on his bed every night. Well, when we can't go to sleep, he has to bounce on his bed.
Really? Oh, so lots of noises going on all the time that you can hear in the background, and probably mummy giggling about them as well. Lots of laughter. That's good. All of these sort of sounds we've got to think about, and that's why if we were to get our cameras out and start filming now, we've got to consider there's other noises going on in the background that we'll probably pick up. What sort of noises here might stop us filming the bicycle that's jumping from one rock to the other? What might be sounds that get in the way? I can see Ella's hand. Is there any other hands? Can see Harley's hand. Jamie, any thoughts? Not sure? That's fine too, my lovely. Let's start with Ella and then we'll go to Harley. So go ahead, Ella.
Water.
The water sound. Yeah, that splashing sound can actually be quite loud and get in the way. Yes, good. Harley.
You might hear other people walking past in the background.
Absolutely. People might not know they're filming and they might be chatting lots and that will get in the way. Both really good answers. Charlotte, any other thoughts? What might make noise there? What do you think?
So like the people like talking about something important.
So they might have something important they're saying and that might be in the background. Top secret stuff that we shouldn't maybe be recording. Yeah, absolutely. Good thinking. Harley.
Birds.
Could have birds tweeting. Yeah, they could be going be far too loud and distort the microphone. And again, it could be quite windy. So we might pick up on that. Has anyone ever been on the phone when someone else sounds like they're in a wind tunnel? Ella, it's very loud, isn't it? Yeah. And so we need to make sure that our microphones on our cameras are protected. What about this one? What might be the trouble with picking up the noise in here? What could something be that gets in the way? Harley, any thoughts? Chatting, yeah. And I think I can see a few people snoring on this. They're probably snoring away on there as they're watching it. What might also be a problem with the noise? Oh, I can see a nice tall hand over there, Charlotte. What do you think?
I kind of think the people talking on the stage.
People talking on the stage, yeah, but there's only two people there, aren't they? And actually it's quite a big room. So it's making sure we can pick up all of those noises. Yeah, good. Last one then. We're at a festival. We're filming on our camera phones. What might be a problem? Ella, I can see you've worked it out already. What might be an issue?
A lot of people singing along and dancing.
Yeah. And do they sing well?
No.
No.
Karaoke.
Like karaoke or shouting, chatting away. There's also really far back from where the music's coming from. And so it distorts the sound. And when we listen back to it, it can hurt our ears. So there's things we need to do in the media and film world to make sure that we get the best recordings. And that is Foley. Who's seen Jurassic Park? Probably not. Oh, Ella has. Anyone else seen it? And, oh, have you all seen it? I won't tell Mum. Good stuff. Well, this is a sound producer making Foley sound effects for Jurassic Park. So this is a baby dinosaur hatching that I'm going to show you. Right. I'm going to ask you afterwards, what different things did they use to make the egg sound? So as you watch, have a listen and make sure you can see. Here we go. So that last noise sounded a bit like Raisin when he wakes up on that, but the rest of them were created by them. Right, hands up. What different things did they use to make those sounds? Charlotte, give me one of the things that they used.
The sound effects.
Yes, they used sound effects. How did they make those sound effects? Harley, what might they have used?
I did hear them say they used goo.
They use goo, yeah. So sometimes they use goo like yogurt. Yogurt makes a slopping noise, and you can put that over, they put it over a pineapple to make the gooing sound, or a melon can do that as well. Ella?
I have two.
You have two, go ahead.
Ice cream cone.
Yep. That did the cracking noise, didn't it?
Egg.
And doing the egg noise, yeah. So the cracking of the egg. Good stuff. And was there another one?
No.
Oh, so cracking noise.
It was a pineapple.
There was a pineapple as well, yes. So they had halved a melon and they stuck their fingers in the melon to make a sort of sound. And they used the goo from either the melon or some yogurt over the pineapple to make that rough sound. And they used the ice cream cones, which they crashed together to do the egg hatching. Sometimes in Foley, they also use the mouth to make some noises. And I'll teach you one that they do for all those love films. Has Mum's ever watched a romantic comedy with kissing in it? Possibly. Well, how they do the sound effects in that is they kiss the back of their hands. So you don't need any props for that. You can practice your own kissing later on. I can see Ella doesn't look too enthused about that. So this is your task, and hopefully your adults can hear this in the background to help you. I'm going to show you in a second a clip from Toy Story. And you are going to recreate the sound for it and think about what you think should be the sound effects for it. Ella, I can see your hand.
Which one is it? There's 4.
I know. I think it's number 1. It's got the dog chasing them. So it's only a short scene from it. You'll see it in a minute. Okay? Now, as you watch it, I want you to write down any sounds that you would expect to hear, because there's not going to be any sounds that we hear. You're going to make that noise. So maybe footsteps are a sound. Maybe it's the beeping of a car. Maybe it's someone's heart beating really fast because they've been running so fast. Okay? So anything you hear, you can write down. And then your little bit of homework to work on this week, and I'd love to know, is to work with an adult using things in your kitchen, things in the house, and asking if you can work with them to use their phone, sorry, mums and dads, to use voice memo, okay? It's a free app if you're using iPhone. There's also an Android version as well. Now, if you are using a phone, the microphone is at the very bottom of the device. And you have to be very careful holding it, that your hands are at the top so you don't cover the microphone, but also so that you protect mums and dads' phones from getting dropped, because otherwise they'll give me a nice big bill to pay. Okay? And what you're going to do, once you've written down the sounds, you're going to use that list to go around the house and think, I can use that for when they jumped into a box. Oh, I can use that when he fell over and broke his foot. Okay, so when we play it, think about what you're doing. Now, this lesson will be available for you to watch later on so that you can re-watch the clip as many times as you like and think about where the sounds come up to, okay? You just have to ask mums for that, and I'll make sure that you have the video to re-watch, okay? But what I'd love to know by next week is how you got on, and I want to see some selfies as you record these sounds. Does that sound good? Right, are we ready to watch the video then so we can get an idea of the sounds we might need?
Exciting.
Let's go for that then. 1 second.
There would be no sound, were there? Oh, truck rolling. Ooh. Fast running. Wow. It's a lot, isn't it?
Painful. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Daddy.
That'll be a good one, won't it? Oh, oh.
Oh. I'll Poor dog, you can't even get under there. Don't faint.
Ah.
The dog.
No,
The bus.
Yeah.
Choo choo. Whoa, whoa. Oof. Looks like some fun it is.
Uh-oh.
It's the fun it is. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ow. Oh no.
There you go. So I could, well done. All of you were having your concentration brains on. I could see you planning those sounds in your head, watching intently at it. That was really good going with focusing yourselves. Now, that video will be accessible for you to watch again and again and again until you've decided they're the sounds I'm going to create. What sounds might you include? What sounds did you notice that needed to be there? Charlotte.
Then dog sound.
Oh,
like
yes,
barking.
absolutely. We need some barking. And if you haven't got a dog at home, you might have to start learning how to bark as a bit of an extra noise to go with that. Fantastic. Really good. Ella. Oh, can't hear you again, sweetie. The suspense is killing us. Try again. Go ahead.
You hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yay. You can always use your neighbour's dog.
You could use your neighbour's dog. Make sure you get permission or get mum to record it.
You just
What else did you hear?
car horn.
A car horn, yeah, absolutely. If mum's got road rage, she can help you with that. So we can
No
get the
problem.
recording in there. Harley.
You could have heard we needed Woody's feet scratching on the floor.
Yeah, his feet scratching and squeaking on the floor as well. Sometimes you can do that with, if you get a plastic toy and if you get it so it's got some water under the feet of it against a wooden floor or a sort of kitchen floor, you can make that same sort of squeaking noise. So that might work quite well. Good stuff. Charlotte, is that another one? Is that your hand up? What were you going to say? Oh, we're on mute.
I kind of hear I kind of hear some of my.
Right.
I
No,
kinda
she had no
hear
answer.
some-
Not sure? No? Ella? Oh, can't hear you again, sweetie. No, lovely.
Better now?
Yes.
Yay. The sound of the money going onto the body.
Yes, absolutely. Some sort of jingling noises. So, you know, your copper coins are actually better for sounding and when you drop them more so than others. So coppers are the better ones to go for. So mum, so you don't have to lose your pound coins, but coppers to use for that. Good stuff. Harley.
Buzz tracking the car at the dog.
Yes, absolutely. So I bet you guys have got lots of different sounds that you could use for that. So what you need to do now is to start investigating, finding sounds around the house, looking and listening to when you rattle that cereal. What happens when you open a Tupperware box? What sound do you hear? And to really get the best noise, it's using mum's or dad's or whoever's looking after you's phone on record, or if you've got your own phone, brilliant. and trying out different sounds. Okay, so mums, I'd love to see photos of your little uns getting some recordings going. Everyone else, I'd love you guys to have a go at doing some Foley sound. How does that sound for you? Yeah? Excited to make some Foley for Toy Story? Good stuff. You guys have worked so hard this lesson. I'm so impressed. I bet you're tired now. So you either can go and be a sound detective, or I'll let you go and have a bit of playtime. All right? Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.